Hi guys, welcome to another video. This time I'm going to go out with my Leica. Last week I already went for a little walk with my Leica and I decided to go explore in the same direction this week again, and I continued where I left off the last time and explored a bit more around there because I knew that if I just continued on the other side of the road there would be some sort of nature reserve because I saw it on a map. I kind of tried to find where it is and find an efficient way to get there. I wanted to take some pictures while I was there exploring with this setup. This is my Leica M6 and my Voigtlander Nokton 50mm f1.1 again. And I also had some Delta 100 in it, just like last time. This way I can develop them together. By choosing the same film, I can now develop it in the same tank, and that saves me some time. So I always like to do that, to collect a few rolls together, 2 or 5, depending on how much shooting I get done. Well, let's just get into the point of view footage. Maybe a case for noise-cancelling headphones. This place. Quite pretty nonetheless. is now months later because I didn't actually develop the rolls when I shot them, and I shot the pictures in October and it is now April, so it took me a while. I normally like to have a sort of disconnect between when I take the pictures and when I edit them, so that I can be a bit more ruthless when I edit and select only the pictures that are actually good and not just have some emotional memory quality for me. And detaching the picture taking from the editing usually helps with that, because then you can come to it with fresh eyes. Of course, half a year is almost a bit too long, and I have to admit that I still have rolls undeveloped from 2017. Well, that's kind of what happens with film, really, and that's one of the reasons why some of these videos come rather infrequently. I'm often in the mood of taking pictures, but not so often in the mood of developing them. Developing pictures can be very repetitive and it's very samey, and so is editing sometimes, especially if I have to do a lot of dust spotting. Recently made a video about my process of dust spotting, and if you're interested in that you can watch it here. And yeah, it takes a long time sometimes, especially if you have to do lots of rolls. It can get draining, and yeah, I procrastinate on it, and then half a year goes by between taking the pictures and seeing them. Oh well. But before I talk a bit more about how I like to take pictures around here, let's take the opportunity to also mention the sponsor of this video, me. If you enjoy the music in this video, then you can check out my bandcamp, polarcoaster.bandcamp.com, where you can find my newest album, Hypnagogia, and also my first album, Endless Nights. Both are very much ambient, but Hypnagogia is a bit darker than Endless Nights. So chances are that if you like the music in this video, you're gonna enjoy those two albums as well. So do check them out if you're interested in the music. You can also support my channel on Ko-fi, where there are different membership tier options, and you can get early access to my videos or download the music in them. This really helps out to keep the channel running, because that way I have more time to spend on these videos and I can bring you more of them. Thank you for all your support, it really helps. Where were we? If you've been following my channel for a while, then you might have realized by now that I don't take that many pictures anymore. I used to take pictures every single day, and I started taking pictures properly when I did a 365 project, and that was while I was living in Berlin. So Berlin is obviously a very different sort of animal from this small corner here in Spain. You can't really expect the same kind of fulfillment in this place, because there are just times during the year where you can't really shoot much. We call it the rainy season because, well, it's about I don't know, 5 months or something like that, when it just constantly rains all the time. I kind of dislike shooting around that because you might just get drenched along the way, and I don't like shooting in the rain. Cleaning of my lenses just annoys the heck out of me, so I don't normally shoot that much in winter because it's just too annoying. For a few years I tried to push it for a while and still went to take pictures as often as I did in Berlin. That really didn't work that well. It frustrated me a lot, especially when I was still trying to focus mostly on street photography. In a way, when you're a street photographer, you're very dependent on the world delivering to you. If nothing happens in front of your camera, then you're not getting any pictures, and that's very frustrating. With landscapes, you can go to places where you know that the place will deliver. That's more planned and more intentional in a way, and that helps to get better pictures in the end and feel more fulfilled. Nowadays I'm much more inclined to escape into nature because it's easier to find interesting stuff to shoot around here with all these great landscapes. You get cliffs here and the sea and nice nature preserves and, you know, that sort of thing. It would be even better if I could drive to such places, but at the moment that's not really an option, so I'm still working on that. Until then, I will have to make do with what I can reach with public transport, and that's not always possible. It's, you know, it's one of those places where you really should have a car if you want to see the nature around here. So photography here I found always a bit too challenging, which is why before the pandemic I was mostly taking pictures while I was traveling. Then the pandemic made that sort of impossible for me. And yeah, so much for my photography videos, I guess. I now do all sorts of other stuff as well, with music and the videos and all of that stuff. So it's not really that much of a big deal, and over time it will probably change again. I try to put less pressure on me lately with all of that, and just go out in the same way as I used to when I lived in Berlin. I just picked some random place on the map and went there and checked out what was there and explored a bit, and if there was a great picture there, great. If there wasn't, whatever. So I wasn't really too bothered about it back then. But when you pursue something like photography for a very long time, you have greater expectations as to the quality of your work, and then it becomes a bit more difficult to find fulfillment when the pictures just don't come naturally and the place doesn't deliver and all of that. I mean, I've been doing this for like almost 15 years, so you just have to have a bit more patience with yourself in that case and not expect too much all the time. Not every single picture is going to be a masterwork, and that's okay. And I'm learning to find that okay. And doing these point of view videos again is one way of developing that skill of being okay with not taking the greatest pictures all the time because the place doesn't deliver. There will be more of these coming. I have quite a lot of these filmed. I just have to, you know, film the talking head bits and edit them and do all of that. So I'm working on it. It will happen. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps out my channel, so I would really appreciate it. And I hope I see you soon for another video. Bye!